Hey people, Indra here, 53 Faction War. This is Estia Province and Space Marines versus Tyranids. For the blue Space Marine team, Aristocrat is a force commander, very strong offense, fighting in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support. This is the Lunar Wolves elite scheme that's been recolored. Alongside, it's the boy next door as an Apothecary, support hero fighting in melee by default, begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration aura, looks like recolored Imperial Fists. And rounding off the team for the Space Marines, Hero Copter is a Techmarine. Starts off with a bolt gun, puts out some good damage, can also support the structures and repair. Blood Ravens here. Red Tyranids, we have 2 Hive Tyrants, 2 Hate for You, and we have Salsa. These guys walk through objects and cannot be suppressed with powerful offense, disruption and support. Begin in melee with a basic synapse. I shall call you Sanchez and Javier. And alongside is ChairFriend killing an Apothecary with a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist, can infiltrate and disrupt, some powerful offense and a bit of support. Must have used the flesh hook to get that Apothecary there, nicely timed. It's very tempting to use the flesh hook at the start of a fight, but if you want to get a kill with it, it's typically a good idea to use it when they're vulnerable and already low on hit points, a hero. Force Commander chasing around some Gaunts, might actually be able to take him out here. Down to a single model, and they do get away. If those scouts were shooting them, maybe they would have finished them off. Tactical Marines in the bunker garrison there, nothing that 2 Hate for You can really do about it, so they're just backing off. Here come more Tyranids, double termagants all around for all 3 Tyranid players, by the way. All 3 Space Marines into the attacks. Apothecary still down in the mid. On the east side, Scouts are trying to fight a Hive Tyrant in melee. It's not going well. This is Javier. Gaunts on the attacks. Perhaps we'll see that mastercrafted bolter for the Techmarine then. They're kind of awkwardly jumping over and around those objects because they're in synapse range of the Hive Tyrant, which allows them to jump over stuff. Which is handy if they get the adrenal glands. Also allows them to leap into combat, which is very handy for them. In retreat now, and Javier backs off a bit. Over on the west side, here comes Sanchez. Axe did drop a model. You can see him right there. Color scheme looked pretty cool in blue and gold. Force Commander back out with full hit points and has double tax now. Aristocrat popping their Kraken bolts there doesn't really help against a Hive Tyrant, only helps against heavy infantry. But there isn't any heavy infantry on the field yet for the Tyranids, so let's look at the pretty Kraken bolts. Lictor Alpha with Toxin Miasma on the field. Damage over time and a debuff to speed and damage on hits. It's pretty nice. 65 melee DPS without the damage over time. So he can... It's quite deadly against a single entity, I think, stacking up like that. Goes for some power bashing. Techmarine. Oh, I think Techmarine and Scouts and Tax all in that garrison there. They're kind of being 2v1. Hero Copter. Boy next door with Devastators. They're going through the mid though. Gonna get a revive thanks to Aristocrat. Boy next door should be defending the east side. This was described as a low level game, by the way. So let's keep that in mind as we watch these players go about their business. Double toxin sacks for ChairFriend, is it? Nope, single. We do have adrenal glands though. Almost a full power bash. Gaunts in the mid, chomping on some scouts. They get a model. Apothecary went down again. Here comes Aristocrat to revive for a second time and get another chunk of XP. These scouts need to run though. They're gonna die, I think. Yes, they do die. If they went straight west, maybe they would have got away there. Maybe. Devastator's Heavy Bolter coming into play, suppressing these Tyranids. Apothecary back to his feet now. You see that health regenerational aura. Needs to stay out of trouble now. There's some crippling poison on the Force Commander. Lictor Alpha's got through and decapped the VP. Oh, and then runs. Might have been able to get a cap, maybe. West side also turning red with a blob cap from 2 Hate for You. Got a Warrior Brood. Is not using the opportunity to go for a potential power bash, which may be well calculated. He knows Or they know that Aristocrat's around somewhere. So they don't want to overextend perhaps and just get caught. Techmarine taking his rec point back. The power is back up in the southeast. And they've taken the eastern contested power. Might want to note it. Hero Copter went straight tier 2 and has a Razorback on the way. So they had to put up with a bunch of pressure to get that early Razorback. We'll see how it pays off. Warrior Brood up for all 3 Tyranid players. And Salsa, also known as Javier, into the Ravener Brood here. Burrow striking on the Devastators who run, Tax run, Apothecary runs. Can they get him? They're trying to. See, there's Adrenal Gland, Formal Gaunts leaping on him there in melee. Barb Strangler suppressing on contact. Those guys run. Hero Copter needs to be very careful. Razorbacks on the field though, momentarily. There it is. They need a lot of value out of that thing right now. So now they do have a target for their double Kraken Bolts Tactical Marines ability. Can use it on that Warrior Brood, which is, I guess, help them retreat them off there. Force Commander barely gets away. These guys go for the Garrison. And I think they'll be alright. The Hive Tyrant here is Sanchez with an improved Synapse. Scouts with no shotgun, eh? No grenade, no shotgun. I feel like the Scouts haven't really been used very well so far in this game. Barb Strangler and Ravener, Burrow Strike and the Apothecary falls. Here's double Kraken Bolts from Hero Copter and does have that Razorback. Was that second tack squad drop podded in? I don't see a drop pod. Razorback is a support vehicle, can reinforce off it and jump inside of it. Also has this twin linked heavy bolter. Techmarine needs to run. Used it for protection there. Boy next door with more tactical marines on the way. Tier 3 for Aristocrat, really. Here's the tier 2 for the Tyranids. They went way heavier in tier 1 and it's paid off. Huge amounts of pressure on the Space Marines here. Look at the map. Space Marines really kick up a gear though when they get into tier 3. Assuming they have the resources. Boy next door with a Dreadnought on the way. That's going to do some work. Venom Brood coming for ChairFriend though. And a Tyrant Guard for 284U. And Hive Tyrants can get good anti-vehicle weapons, Crushing Claws and their Venom Cannon. Blue team take their VP back. Fast capping tax. Aristocrat needs to revive. There we go. Going to get level 3 off it maybe. And they're power bashing. 284U not sitting on the west side. As their Warrior Brood coming in. Hive Tyrant takes tons of damage though. Sanchez almost falls over. Now they're Kraken bolting those Warrior Brood. Here comes the Force Commander. Did he get level 3? No, he didn't get level 3. Did the Apothecary rebuy himself or something? Didn't seem like the Force Commander got very much XP there. Not sure what happened. Scouts having to flee. Again, Scouts not being used super well here by the Space Marine players. There's so much you can do positioning wise with shotguns and grenades and all sorts of things. Where's that Tyrant Guard? Here he is, coming towards the west side. Techmarine loses the Razorback. Venom Brood getting it done. They have their ranged Synapse. I thought maybe they tried to take the Razorback down and then switch to Death Spitters, which did get buffed in 2984. Now do a couple more DPS. Turret put up to defend the power. Helps to take out the Hive Tyrant Javier. 287 to 455 on the VP. Space Marines taking back the west side. And that contested rec points turning blue as well. Tax take over the cap with their fast capping. Apothecary in trouble. Can't just run in there, buddy. Gonna go down, I think. Does go down. Dreadnought with an assault cannon. And there's the assault cannon barrage. This thing is a major, major problem for the Tyranids. Venom Brood needs to get on it. Techmarine gets a revive. Apothecary needs to be careful, needs to back off. Maybe get the Storm Bolter going. Could shut down the dangerous Tyranid heroes and stay at range naturally, while also attacking. That was a flesh hook on the Lictor Alpha. Oh, they're in Lone Hunter mode. Well, they were. I think maybe these guys are close enough so it's not active anymore. Definitely are now. Attack's in trouble. Boy next door needs to retreat out. Down goes the Apothecary again. I think the Dreadnought's going to be okay. It can't stop though. There's 3 Venom Broods on the field, 2 right here. We have some melee Raveners, thanks to the enhanced muscle coil. It might go down, the Dreadnought. Hormagaunt's getting in there, turns to do with a barrage. That was a terrible idea from Boy Next Door. Loses the Dreadnought. Dready dead, says ChairFriend. Is he a friend of a chair? Or just one of your friends that uses chairs? Plasma attacks. Is it double plasma attacks? Is it triple plasma attacks? No. You are getting double. And that's very good DPS against the Tyrant Guard. But now it's going into shield wall. These guys can't really touch it very well. Can try and wear it down with plasma damage maybe. Here comes some scouts. Not sure where they're going. They're acting like they have a grenade to throw, but... Oh, they're just going for the wreck point, I think. Power Fist Force Commander having a go, though. I think they're going to get it. Down goes the Tyrant Guard. Bunch of levels and XP for these fellas. One of them got level 2. The other's got a bunch of XP. Terminator Force Commander can't level up anymore. And the Apothecary's down, of course. Tyranids with huge amounts of pressure on the power. Plasma Cannon gets a good shot there. Tier 3s for all the Tyranids. Starting to leapfrog the Space Marine players, who both have plasma cannons on this side. Friendly fire. Yep, took out their own gen. Decent hit there. These guys have a flamer, which is a little bit weird to see at this stage. I don't think they had it before. The Boy Next Door. 245 to 412. Sneaky Hormagaunts on the VP there. Devastators need to start moving up. They need to try and take the midpoint much easier. I mean, they have the contested VP right now, thanks to Aristocrat. He's probably been the most solid player for the Space Marines. Got these crazy shoulder pads over here. Hero Copters with no war gear for the Techmarine yet. I think getting their plasma gun up would do a huge amount of work because of all the Venom Broods and Warrior Broods. Hive Tyrant buffed by that capillary tower there. Gonna try and get this wreck point back, is he? Apparently not. Oh, the scouts are going for it. They have shotguns now, so might see some more usage out of those guys. Aristocrat needs to be very careful. Could get pincered by 2 Tyranid players. Force Commander being aggressive, getting into melee with the Warrior Brood there. These guys turn to engage, but they're getting barbed, strangled, crack and bolts, and plasma tearing through the Warrior Brood, having to retreat. But here comes Sanchez with Rending Talon's Seismic Roar. Everything retreats off. Force Commander even retreats off. Got doubled. But I thought they could have maybe stayed in play there. Keep the Force Commander on the Warrior Brood. And just split and shot the Hive Tyrant maybe, because it was Venom Brood shooting the attacks. They can't really hit them. These guys getting suppressed. More Barb Strangler from the other side. They're going to stay suppressed. And here comes the Hive Tyrant with crushing claws. And bonded exoskeleton on the way. Here's a Carnifex. And they don't have a great way to deal with this. Aristocrat does have Stern Guard. These guys, you have devs over here, they could get a las cannon. And of course they have tons of attacks that could quickly get missile launchers up. But the Tyranids are swarming here. 211 to 400. Trying to shoot down the Venom Brood. These guys looking for a grenade maybe. There it is. Swing and a miss with that grenade. Wasn't expecting those guys to retreat, I think. Ripper Swarm getting taken out. Carnifex with no upgrades yet. the Ripper swarm come from? From that tower, maybe. Devs run. These guys also run. Plasma cannon charges up. Where is it? Oh, it's in the garrison. Are there any barbed stranglers around here? I guess not. Misses a couple of shots there, though. Another Carnifex up for 284U. And they've gone Venom Cannon. But look at this. Roasting time for the Terminator Force Commander, the Heavy Flamer. Just destroyed tons of Termagants, it seems. Lictor Alpha looking for a fight. Has the deadly jump now. There's that Heavy Flamer. Being tied up now, though. 27 DPS for a Flamer is huge amounts. Attack Flamer's like 6 DPS or something, isn't it? Oh, 8.75. It's like more than 3 times as potent as the Tactical Marine Flamer in terms of DPS. I'm not sure how the radius compares for 5. So it's smaller radius apparently. That's kind of surprising. Maybe to balance out the huge amount more DPS. Over on the east side, these guys making the mistake of blobbing up. You never want one Barbed Strangler to be able to control double tacks. We have a Melter Gun Techmarine now and Signum. That could do a lot of work. We got double flame attacks here for Boy Next Door. Very strange to see. Against late game Tyranids. 161 to 375 on the VPs. Going Thornback, said someone there. Oh, here we go. It was ChairFriend. And they're going west side. I don't think they can be stopped. Certainly not by these fellas. Stern Guard and double tacks. Could be quite potent. They got more tacks coming in. Going for those Warrior Brood. Doing huge DPS. What were the Stern Guard using there? Kraken Bolts? Yeah, they couldn't hold with the Thornback coming in. 161352. The Space Marines aren't out of it. They got huge infantry armies, including that Terminator Force Commander, and now a Techmarine with some war gear. Apothecary still no war gear, still level 1 too. I still think it's worth getting the customized Stormbolter to shut down the Hive Tyrants. What is this? Just some Rippers coming in annoying things. They bashed the power. There's those Kraken Bolts and those Plasmas. And the Stern Guard as well. Yeah, they're in their default Kraken Bolts mode, I think. They haven't even swapped their ammo. Which is why they don't have an indicator. Haven't swapped their ammo once. We got missile launcher for these guys. And they're getting their sergeant. They are putting huge amounts of population and stuff into tacks. Maybe doesn't need to sergeant on those guys. They're trying to keep mid-map authority here. Lictor Alpha gets around and then dies. There's a turret here. You can make this into a missile turret for anti-vehicle. They're going to wipe those Hormagons. There we go. They're starting to get some work done. Still got big targets to deal with though, like Carnifexes. This guy's going to come in from the flank. Bonded exoskeleton fellow with crushing clauses. Still level 1 is Salsa. Ouch, friendly fire, plasma cannon. Missile launchers trying to get shots in. Rippers are tying him up. Here comes the force. Maybe needs to get into melee with this thing to help out a bit. Oh, Tyranno formation from one of the Tyranid fellas. Maybe ChairFriend. Tyranno formation one-shots structures, which is why the turret did not survive there. Apothecary is going to get revived again, I think. Another Carnifex, and there's already 2 up for 284U. 1 Venom Cannon, 1 without an upgrade. Oh, both the Hive Tyrants are level 1. I guess it's difficult to kill Marines. And the west side is still blue. Going to get flanked here, though, is Aristocrat. Look at that blob of Marines shut down by a single Barbed Strangler Warrior. Can't keep them blobbed up like that. These guys should be getting Stranglethorn cannons up. Nope, they're going to Thorn back again. Fair enough. Big old melee kind of effect, so I didn't get revived over here. Level 5 Techmarine. We're just taking down towers, I think. These attacks being shut down. There's Andation on No Fear. Orbital Bombardment. Is it going to drag anything? Just a couple of fellas. Doesn't drag the, or lift the Carnifex into the air. We have a Stranglethorn cannon now for ChairFriend. I don't think I've noticed the Techmarine use Mark Target yet. Terminator's called in by Boy Next Door. Is it worth getting Cyclone Missile Launcher? Probably. It's a case to be made just getting the Assault Cannon and racking up the damage bonuses on kill. Inspiration stuff. Doesn't seem like they want a decap. On the west side, Aristocrat trying to hold against the tide. There's too much plasma. I don't know how the Hive Tyrant's taken no damage there, by the way. Are the plasma guys shooting at the Carnifex? They should be shooting the Hive Tyrant. Hey, level 2. Well done, fella. Yeah, I think he destroyed a generator to get that level. Or the node or something. These guys are still too close together. Techmarine's having a go, but still not using the marked target. Hive Tyrant comes to say hello. Javier just trying to be friendly, but the Techmarine's not having it. Direct hit from the plasma cannon. 125 to 267 on the VPs. The Tyranids pushing all the way through. Look at this for a blob of Marines. So bunched up though. Doing some work. Once they can plant their feet and shoot and not get suppressed, huge amounts of anti-infantry damage come out of there. Tyranno formation again. Hit those guys on retreat pretty well. And a few models died here and there. Terminator's in trouble. For Boy Next Door, have they already used their teleport? Looks like they must have. And friendly fire from the plasma cannon isn't helping there, buddy. Okay, they didn't chase them in. Double cap now for the Tyranids. Kind of playing with their food a little bit now, maybe. Oh, Scout's going to decap. Aristocrat with some level 3 scouts here. These guys not paying attention to it, this Carnifex. We are endless, says ChairFriend. Tyranno formation again. Yeah, those guys can't get away from it. Even if they immediately try to retreat, they have to pick up their plasma cannon again. They have spotted this, 75-267. Force Commander's not giving up. He's got a assault cannon now. Here comes a Neurothrope. That's going to be very, very tasty against Aristocrat's army. Neurothrope here. Very confused by the double flamers. Maybe they just thought, you know, hey, loads of Tyranids, I'm going to get flamers up. They might not necessarily know how damage types interact with different armor types and that kind of thing. Maybe they think flamers will damage a Carnifex. I mean, it looks like it's made of squishy bug stuff. Surely fire would work. 59 to 267 on the VPs. Each Tyranid player with double Carnifexes, and the Carnifexes have been awesome so far. That one's almost down for Salsa, but I think it's going to get away. 45-267. Looks like they might get a triple cap. These guys are slow to get this decap going. There we go. Gonna push through is Hero Copter. All that stuff gets shut down and some of them die. What is this now? Is that a Venerable Dreadnought from Hero Copter? It is! Hero Copter wins the game now. Here he comes. This thing is unique to the Techmarine. Emperor's Fist on the Hive Tyrant. Stuns him. and gets a special. Might kill him here. He's taking damage from that Stranglethorn. Does take down the Hive Tyrant though. Tyranid victory indeed. 2-1 at the end. Venerable Dreadnought charging through at the end too. Awesome. Well, it's a Tyranid victory. We had a Terminator Force Commander. Just orbital on himself apparently there at the end. Or maybe Hero Copter did it, I'm not sure. Boy next door's Apothecary did not level up. Poor guy. Did get armor of the Apothecary at the end. Struggled to keep an eye on where their Apothecary was. And as I said, in general, the scouts weren't used super well by the Space Marine players. It can be tough to use them in a 3v3 very, very well kind of thing, because you're often cramped for space. Had a level 6 Techmarine, he did alright by the end. Level 2 Hive Tyrant for 2 hate for you. This is Sanchez. And Javier got level 3. You had the Crushing Claws, I think, yeah. And ChairFriend's Lictor Alpha down at the end as well, at level 3. Well, there you have it, guys. Not the highest level faction war, but still a fun jaunt around Estia province, I think. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.